Hello guys, somebody asked me to make a video of this to help them out when they did this. This is the mod for putting the replacing the plastic water pump impeller on the what is this thing, the 800 MT CF motor. So I need to, first thing I got to do is remove this guard out of my way. Then I got to remove this crash bar, and I got to remove this panel here that holds the fog light out of the way, and this whole side piece. So I'm going to be pausing and restarting because I don't want, this video to get super long. It take forever to upload, and I'm not about all, waiting for all that crap. So I'll do it in pieces and then show you guys. So I'm going to take this stuff off, and then I'll intermittently show you guys how the stuff comes off in case you guys don't know. So hold one. So you got here 10 millimeter up at the top here. Obviously one on the other side. You got fish that out. That's going to get you to these two inside ones here. Those are actually, these are 8 millimeter. And I can use the impact on those. Crap. I lied to you. They are 10. You don't have to take this bracket completely off. It just kind of swings down out of the way. On these this add-on crash bar, it's a hex expansion, rubber expansion piece that holds that in there. So these just pop off like so. You don't want to unscrew them too far, or the pieces fall out inside there. Oops, forgot to take that off. Then the inside ones here, I believe, are 12 or 13. Looks like it's a 13. Gonna have to take the top piece off as well. So you got, I don't believe, nope, I'm on lowest power. This little what do you call it, M12 Milwaukee impact wrench. This thing is no freaking joke, guys. Now you got one under here. Sorry. The last one is right up under here. That one. And before you can actually take this piece off, this thing has to come off. The fog light cover, or whatever the hell they call it. And you got one here and one down here on the inside. I just kind of know where they sit. I've taken this apart so many times. Here's the other bolt. And this, if you yank it out like this, you're going to break it back here. So you just push it back. It's got a little slider right there. That's the female part. It's got a rubber in there. And then that's the male part where it slides in and then hinges forward. Let's see now. Next thing has to come off is this cover right here. I might be able to get that. Yeah. I did tighten it down with a ratchet, but they don't need to go super tight. This, it's got one rubber grommet here, little nipple right there. You pull it out to release it, and then it slides back. If you just yank on it, you're going to break these tabs on that piece over there. Fine. I said I did tighten those with a ratchet, but they don't go super tight or you'll break the clip. So there's that one. Then you got a plastic clip right here. That will not let it come out if you don't release it. And it sits right here. And I use these little side cutters just to catch the edge of them and pull it up. You obviously don't want to cut it. That comes off. And then you got one more. Inside of here, right in here. And that one, same thing. And your last one is right in there. That one I might have to put, yeah, the ratchet on. Now you can loosen that one, but before you know what, I'm just going to let it hang. I'm not going to pull it off. It's got the wire that connects this fog light is inside under this panel up here. And in order to get this panel off, you got to remove the entire front windscreen. And I'm not going to do that today. Too much bullshit. So I'm just going to take it off unless I can. Yeah, it's hard to reach them on the inside. They have a little, it's got a little mount that sits like that, little male prongs. And when you snap your connectors together, they sit down on top of it. You know what? Let me just pause. I'm going to take the front windscreen off and just show you guys. Front windscreen, 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. The dark windscreen and your screen supports. You got to get all those off. So let me just go ahead and, it's not going to hurt anything for me to do a little bit more work. It's just work, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are Loctited. I am watching where these bolts go. And this guy is of course going to be in the way. Can't believe I actually caught that. So that's that. You know what? Hold on one second. I'm always complaining about losing bolts and stuff, so I just went ahead and got my magnetic tray and put the bolts in there. Unfortunately, I have to deal with things flying because, again, I can't grab them with my other hand. That one will stay in place. Get that out of your way. Now I need to remove the windscreen support right here. It just goes like that, comes off. Now over here, you've got one bolt you see right in the middle of the screen right there. 2 of those little snap clips up there. And you've got another little rubber, or one of those plastic grommet clips. You see it right there in the middle? Right there. Of course, that's not going to let go for me. Yeah, it did. Don't lose that. Now I just need a little screwdriver. And on these, you guys will see a little centerpiece right in the middle of that one and that one. All you do is push down on the center of that. You're going to hear one click or one step, and that's it. If you shove it all the way down in there, you're going to lose it because the inside piece is going to pop all the way out, and you're going to lose it inside there. I won't be able to take that off completely because I've got my this piece you see right here. That's my connector for my heated gear, for the curbing gear. Okay, I dropped that one. That came out. Another plastic clip. That's that. And on this guy, you just grab it from the back and just kind of give it upwards like that, and then it'll go up backwards. You pull up and then give it a little bit of a back. Ah, crap. forgot. So this thing is really a pain in the ass to work on, guys. They've got so much stuff sandwiched on top of other stuff that you have to remove tons of stuff. This is the little center guard. It's got 2 Phillips, or the center cap piece. It's got 2 Phillips screws in it. 1 on each side there. 1, 2, and then 2 more of those little pop rivets. 1, 2. And that swings forward. Now that should, and it's supposed to have 1 here and 1 here, but I'm missing 1 that I forgot to put on last time. So it did the same thing. It's got 1 that goes there, and I need another. I have some spare ones, so I'll put 1 in there. Now this will come up and back, and I can't take it all the way off because my gerbing setup is kind of down there. It's hooked up in there. So now I think you guys can see. Yeah, you can see down in there. If you look down in there, those are the wires that for the fog light. They're right. They're sitting on that little, like it's like a little tree mount. There's 3 sections, and you have to pull them off. And you see in the back, right in there. Damn it! It's and again, one hand, guys. I'm sorry. You see that little white tab right in the back of there. If you push that towards the outside of the clip, like towards me this way, that will release it from the that little tree mount. And then once you have that out of your way, once you have it off that mount, then you can disconnect the fog light. It's not easy to get it off though, guys. It's not fun. There. So now that I've unclipped it from the mount, now I have to unclip it from the disconnect the connector itself, which again, not easy. It's just aggravating. And it's not hard. It's just a pain in the ass to do with one hand. There. So now it's disconnected, and the wire is right here. If you're not careful, this piece is heavy enough that if you drop it full weight, when that comes out and that's connected, it will rip it out of the connector. Luckily, mine didn't do that the last time I pulled it out. Or the first time I did it, because I didn't know how to pull this stuff out. Now, once those are all out, it's loose. You grab right here, and you pull outwards, and you've got another rubber grommet right in there. I'll show you in a second. You got 2. See the male pieces? 1, 2. And they go, 1 here is rubber, and 1 right there, rubber mount. And it's got another little clip that pops right in there. So now we have that out of the way. I got to pull one more cover off. Hold on one second. I got to pull this guy right here. Got 1, 2. Those I will have to use either the ratchet or, oh man, what did I do with, I set it down up here. know what I did with it. Oh, there it is. If Milwaukee made a smaller impact, I'd probably take that on trips with me because this thing is really freaking handy. Drop those there. So now we got to pull off this guy and disconnect this hose. But before I do that, I need to drain the coolant system. And that is a T30. A T30 Torx, and I'm not gonna take a chance on that one with the impact, one way or either on or off. Then I just don't want to take a chance on stripping that one. Either threads putting it on with the impact or ripping these teeth out. And be careful when you pull this out. It has it's not going to do anything at first. It's got a little brass washer in there to compress and seal that, just like the banjo bolts do, right? So when you first take that off, it's not going to do anything. The next thing you need to do is, it's got a vacuum on it, is you need to loosen the radiator cap. But before you do that, be sure you lean this bucket over or whatever you're using and hold it, because if you don't, it's going to shoot out about 3 feet, piss all over the floor on you, and it'll do it without warning. I'll pause while that drains. So that's, I'm gonna let that drain right there. The next thing you wanna do is you gotta get this hose off. It's a little hard to grab it there. So if you grab one of these or the other, you can spin it because it relaxes a little bit when you grab it, and it'll spin like that for you. And when you grab this, right, like that, or like this to go and move it, if you have a hold of it and you get right about here and it slips out of these, this has enough tension in it that it'll actually bite through the hose. So you want to be careful and not let that happen. Put that up. And of course it's stuck. So, got one of these guys, radiator hose tool. They're made specifically to get the radiator hose to let go. And that is now just kind of pissing coolant on my line there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap it off as soon as I find the damn bolt, which I know is in here, but I just set it in there. There it is. But it's not actually coming out of the drain hole anymore. It's coming out of the water pump, the edge, because I've already loosened it from. I used the ratchet to loosen them. I didn't want to hit it with the impact wrench. And these do have Loctite in them, right? So you don't want to go crazy with the impact. because as you start to rip it out with the impact and you go too fast, that Loctite will actually build heat, and it could cause these to gall up and seize up inside there. So if you're going to pull them out with the impact, give them a little bit of that so that they don't get real hot coming out, because they do get hot. That comes off now. You can just get that up out of the way. Last one. And again, KTM. Oh wow, nice. See, this actually was supposed to be made of plastic, is what I was told. And it's actually not made of plastic, it's actually aluminum, so I won't have to replace that. This is made out of plastic, and that's why I'm replacing it. There's no place in or on an internal combustion engine, especially with something like the coolant system or the oil system, for friggin' plastic parts. They don't belong on it, period, in my humble opinion. But that's just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth to you. This guy's got to come out now, and again, I'm not going to hit it with the impact because I think it's chain driven on the inside, and I don't want that beating the hell out of itself. And I don't know actually if this is going to come off. Okay, yeah, it's regular righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I didn't know if this was going to be a reverse thread, but it is not. And again, if your bike is if your bike is new, you don't really have to worry about this. But when it gets older, because these things run hot. It's like 13-to-1 compression. These things run really damn hot. This plastic, it is going to fail, and it's going to fail when you least expect it, and you're going to be screwed. That's why I'm taking it out. I think I've got like 6,000 miles on this, but I'm not gonna let it strand me. So I was going to replace the that housing as well, because I was told it was plastic, and I believe it was plastic maybe for a while, but apparently not anymore. So the thermostat housing that I did was plastic. I replaced that with a CNC, a billet CNC piece that was for the KTM 790 Adventure, which this is the same engine. I can't remember what it is. And the impeller that I got for this is also for the 790 Adventure. So hold on one second. This is the CNC, the billet piece. I don't know if it's billet or if it's just a cast piece that has been CNC finished, but you can clearly see the machining marks in there. And this does not look like a cast piece at all. So all you do is, that's it. It's a two-piece. So you just replace one for the other. That's it. And that does fit snug. I imagine there's a reason for that. It's because they don't want it wobbling around in there. What did I do with that damn bolt? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bolt that I took off of it. Here it is. That's the one I took off. So we are going to put Loctite on there again. This is not a piece that you want coming loose. And it's still dry in there, so I'm not going to clean it out. So I'm going to be sure that this bolt has full coverage on it. And the Loctite that was on there was definitely not red or anything like that. And this is long enough that I can actually use it to press this bit back on the wheel. It's got enough thread engagement. What I don't know is the torque spec for this guy, so I will have to find it. That doesn't seem normal. Nope. Something wrong there. And directions didn't say anything about that being loose like that. And it definitely, I don't think should be rattling around like that. It's definitely completely flush. So something isn't right. Alright, hold on. Okay guys, side project number 1. It looks like the since this part is not specifically for the 800 MT, this the back plate of this guy has play in it. After I tightened the bolt down, it's got play in it, and this back plate that it has up here is just wobbling like this, kind of back and forth, and that's not good, because if you run it like that, it's just going to eat itself to death. So I was going to use a brass. This is just the brass washer off of a banjo fitting, you know, the compression washers. I was going to use that, but I decided against it because I'm afraid that if this is what tightens it down, at some point it might, maybe from the pressure of the water or whatever this moving around, if it moves around, this might shrink a little bit more and get compressed more, which means it's going to lose its interference fit when I tighten it down. So I'm going to use a steel washer instead. I've just got it on a big damn bolt. It's like a 1/4 20 bolt, and I'm gonna cut down the outside of it. Again with the one-handed bullshit. I'm gonna cut down one side of it, or the outer diameter, so that it is the same diameter as the outside of this, and I'm not going to be measuring in thousandths and all that stuff like I normally would. It's not that important. I just want it to be so that it doesn't stick out past that, you know, edge down inside there, which is going to affect the flow of the water. So I'm just going to make it flush with that and call it a day. I am going to be taking measurements off of it because I don't want to see if it's going that way. Pulling it is going to loosen, so I'm going to have to tighten it. And that is a standard 1/4 nut. So it's either going to be 12 or 13. 13 it is. Now I'll do is tighten that down. I have no speed. the tool is chipped, which doesn't feel chipped. That might be chipped. Okay, hold on one guys. I needed to grab the hose to clean this out. It might be chipped and I can't see it. I like these inserts, but they're really delicate. They're for aluminum, and I just don't feel like grabbing one of the other ones. As long as it's sharp, it'll do the work. It'll do the job. But I think it was sitting too high. Normally don't make that noise. It could be the metal that this washer's made of. It was really shitty, really gummy. So 60. It's like 600 thou will be pretty good. So we're at 760 thou. I wanted 600 thou. That's 150 thou. Divided by 2 is 75 thou. So we zero this guy out. That's 70. That looks like absolute shit. And I don't know why. It's just the insert. It's probably cooked. have no problem with it. I'm going to have to sand that and clean it up on the edges. Fuck's sake. This is what happens when you do shit in a hurry. Pretty close. Just trying to knock that flashing off. I'll sand it once I'm done here. It's just not an easy damn part to get a hold of. Actually, hold on. Okay guys, so I measured the water pump shaft. It was 4750, 475 thou, and I bored this out to 477 thou. So that's 2 thousandths of gap. So I'm just going to clean this up with some sandpaper, and that's just going to be my little shim to go inside there and steel, and I don't have to worry about it compressing later and causing a problem. And don't leave that in there because it will come out and hit you right in the teeth. So I'll bring you guys back in a second. Okay guys, so we got the original washer, the spacer, that's going to keep this back plate from hitting the housing. Back plate, impeller, and that shaft does sit about maybe 7 or 10 thou proud of that guy. I mean, they should have included a spacer for that, for sure. Now when you put that on there, you see it's bigger than the shaft, I mean, but smaller than the bolt. So you need to make sure that that is sitting in the right place. When you tighten the bolt down, you don't want it sitting on top of that. So I got lots of thread lock on the bolt, and then I will recenter it once it gets down to the bottom there. And it should kind of want to center itself. You just put a little bit of pressure on it, push it back up, and it should kind of want to center itself in there, like that. That's it. And it's almost exactly the same diameter. I tried to make it the same diameter as this outer bolt flange. See, it's centered now, and now it's pushing back on the water pump. And the only movement that you see there is actually the water pump shaft moving back and forth. And I'm gonna have to it's definitely not touching. Okay. I don't know the torque spec for that. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, the water pump impeller bolt is 10 Newton meters. I was waiting for it to stay at 10. And the water pump, the housing bolts are 8 Newton meters. Although I don't know if I'm gonna crank them down that tight, because you guys know how spooky that shit can be sometimes. You're cranking them back down to, they just don't feel like they're gonna go back down that tight anymore without stripping. So I'll play it. I'll see what happens. It might, but sometimes they just feel really spooky, and you guys know what I'm talking about. They feel super damn spooky, like it's gonna give up the damn ghost. I'm just gonna put one to hold it in place, which actually I didn't need to, because it's got an alignment, and it's got 2 actually, so clean. Okay, I guess I do need to. Shit. Loctite. I use plenty of Loctite. You can always buy more. I'd rather use a little more than not enough. Damn knees hurt. I get 'em. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and bottom these out because this video is getting long. Damn it. Probably overdid that one. Okay. Eight. So I'm not going to play with these too much. Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, man. Bullshit. And then the drain bolt. Make sure it's still got the little compression washer on it. The drain bolt, I'm just gonna give it the old and call it done. Okay. I'm not gonna bore you guys with putting it back together. It goes back together the same way you took it apart. You guys that work on your bikes, you know how to do this. I'm not gonna insult your intelligence, but in case you didn't know how to take it apart, now you do. Put it back the same way you took it apart. But I'm gonna go ahead and refill it and check it for leaks before I finish assembling it, and I'll bring you guys back in a second. Alright guys, looks like no leaks. I spilled a little bit of coolant, and I'm not in the middle. Normally it would be about here, but I spilled a little bit of coolant. Once it does what it needs to do, it's going to suck a little bit down, and I will check it again later to see where this is at, and if it's too low, I'll add some more, unless I can find some here before I close it up, because you got to take all this shit back off to get to this guy. I couldn't find any more of the other stuff, but I know that this stuff is okay. I like using it, so I'm going to go ahead and... There's no way of doing it without getting in front of you guys, sorry. So I'm just going to top it off with this stuff. And it was literally like 2 ounces. It should suck back down maybe 1.5 ounces, and that is more than enough right there. So I'm going to call that done. And I don't know, hopefully that helped you guys out. I didn't know that the impeller was going to require a side project. I don't know of anybody that makes one yet specifically for the 800 MT. So I don't know what to tell you guys about that. So if you're gonna put one on there, unless you find one that's specifically for the 800 MT, if you can, ask questions, look in the package. If it doesn't come with a little spacer or a washer, then you're gonna have to make one on your own, or they have made the impeller housing a little bit taller so that it sits proud of the shaft itself, in which case you won't need a spacer like I made. But either way, I would probably be ready to make something of your own, specifically because of that. I was told that that was going to fit, and I didn't need to modify anything at all. But as you guys saw, that wasn't the case. Also, I did find out that the water pump housing, this guy here, is aluminum, so I don't have to replace that. I thought it was going to be plastic, that reinforced plastic stuff, but it's not, so that's a good thing. So now I don't have to worry about the impeller taking a crap and breaking somewhere in the middle of nowhere, which it was going to do that. It was just, it's not a question of if, but when. It was going to do it. No two ways about it. And I also have another video I haven't uploaded doing the thermostat. I went to a 70C thermostat that is also a KTM part, and it is running cooler. Normally it would sit 1 bar from max, sitting here idling in the garage, and it sits 1 bar lower. I didn't check to see what that was temperature wise. It looked like it was 205, 204, something like that. And before it ran quite a bit, definitely hotter. Going down the highway, it should run a little bit cooler, but we'll see. And I also replaced the thermostat housing, which was that plastic stuff, with a CNC billet piece for the that goes on the 790 Adventure, and that part did fit. So that's it, guys. Hopefully it'll help somebody out, and I appreciate you guys. Happy riding.